aging woman in Chinese enclave. So what is the Chinese enclave? When I was sitting there, somebody actually asked me, are you coming from the Chinese enclave? I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. So Chinese enclave, what do you think? Is it like a temple you live in? Or it's like a crowded street, like a lot of tourists? What do you imagine of her? So I'm going to tell you a little bit story about her. And so I will talk about women aging in traditional Chinese culture and how yoga helping me break through the tradition and how am I using the yoga to help others like me. And I'm gonna share about the how is my program so far. So Chinese has this harmony about family, and it's really burden for women. Why? Because they think the family harmony is the responsibility for women. So they're really creating a psychological distress for women, and so they can impact result their loneliness, isolation, and withdrawal. So in traditional Chinese, women is required to sacrifice their happiness and their ambitions and to wishes and the need for men in the family. So when we were young, we need to please our father, husband when we marry, son when we widow. And recently, one of my coworkers, he went to travel and he came by from and shared a story like when he was at the airport and he saw a Chinese woman carry all the luggage and the carrier was a woman and the man was hand-free. So he was sharing like, oh, is this your tradition like that? I said, yeah, sure enough. That's how our traditions. So we do so much of a domestic job that was expected. So my father, for instance, he doesn't do any domestic job. He expect my mom do everything. So even men do wrong, we still need to follow. So the picture actually was my mother-in-law. She is from Shandong, Jinan, China. This is part of North China. And there's my 3 kids. So she's helping, teaching my kids, doing traditional Chinese dishes. And my kid was next to me. They were right there. Yeah. So she, they do very traditional Chinese. All is hand, a lot of manual hand, and the dough is all like from scratch. My mother-in-law, she retired when she was 45 because in China, woman is considered elder when they were 45. Can you imagine like women have to do all the labor for the men's work? And so they do require a lot of handmade. So she lived in the north of China, so they make their blankets, sweater. So she was sharing with me, like they don't have the washer, dryer when they do their laundry. And the most impressed me, she shared with me is when they wash their sweater, they have to actually take out the thread out and then wash it because they want to keep the shade. Yeah. In Chinese, women tended to have a more health issue than men. Actually, the studies show women, there's a gender difference in the brain for the neurochemical composition. Women tended to have more psychiatric problem than women. So the mental issue and the cognitive decline, that is really impact the quality of life of women. So lack of the resistance of a knowledge of the other's health. So women thinking they are not worth it. And so they think they are not important as men. So that is the actual impact to how they see themselves for health and healthcare. It's not so much about a barrier of accessibility. It's more about lack of desire of Western medicine, language barrier, lack of cultural sensitivity, and when they go to seek care, it's not really personal. So this is really uncomfortable for these women go to see the Western doctor, and of course, the high cost is a big factor, and they think the hospital is for not for the poor people, and there we go. So yeah, this is me on the laugh. Yeah. And so yoga has been transformed me and it's been a revelation and liberation for me. I immigrated to Taipei, Taiwan when I was 20. And I live in Chinese Enclave in Montreal Park. That's kind of east of LA. And about 10 years. And I have the period of time I don't need to speak English. And I went through, I don't know nothing about the Western healthcare. So when I was sick, I went to see the local traditional Chinese profession. And you can tell I lost weight about 40, 50 pounds because someone introduced yoga to me when I about 8 years ago, 2018. And I learned how to breathe, to relax, and to be aware of my body and my mind. So yoga has been transformed me. And I learned how to feeling the sense of the calm and that's what it's a little bit my story here. And that's how I've been learning about I'm actually worth of healthy and well-being. So that's my mom on the right. So she has been taking care of herself and she didn't think she's worthy for the well-being. So I'm gonna go in to share about the big background about how I break through the tradition and how I believe my self-worth and I can take control of my well-being and I giving up myself a safe container to be invisibility. So now I like to share. So when I talk about invisibility, I feel very uncomfortable when I was attention. So if last year, this time, I was physically not able to get up to talk to you. So I decided to become yoga therapy because I really like to share this wonderful gift to the people where I come from. So I like to share and provide some of the better health to them. This program I call e-yoga. So it's yin, yang, like Chinese Taoism. And so that is inspired me to finding your balance. This program is kind of to create this Chinese philosophy and then bring to the yogi practice. And so this program I try to do is to put together of rules of my transformation and to provide the tool for the people, for women to get a better health. So the program kind of starting with Taoism, Buddhism, so those Chinese familiar philosophy, and so can bring the bridge over the cultural gap from the Chinese tradition, bridging and then the yoga approach to awareness. So I'm in the process of putting the website together, and will be bilingual, will be Chinese and English. So hopefully it can support this community. So in February 2023, which is last year, I have an opportunity to have the 8-week yoga program for Chinese Mandarin speaking. And that was approved by IRB. Is for the participant willingness to using the yoga as a their wellness, and their willingness to open up, they are willing to relax, be aware about their body, and they will be willingness to think about their actual worth. So the participant profile is around 60 and 75 years old, and they are living in a traditional environment, and anything was not preventing them to participate in any guru yoga therapy program. So the cultural consideration is, in Chinese traditions, we have a core belief to be industrial. And even I get being to think about, I always have to be busy. So I have a commitment. I'm gonna put a finger. So I have a commitment. I have a job. I have a family. I have 2 professional organizations, and I'm volunteer yoga teacher, and I have this yoga therapy, and also I am the commissioner for the global volunteer activity at this organization. And of course, my schoolwork is very demanding. And plus, I'm also a volunteer for this senior home memory care to be a yoga teacher. So I have a total 9 commitments. And this is not including my own practice and my own health. But I still need to convincing those women is very important. But this is kind of culturally, that's how we do. And so really, that's really hard to break the cultural divide. So the participant for this program has 8 women and 2 men, in total 10. The reason we have 2 men because I wanted to meet the ARB deadline. But I know this 2 men is actually good, so it provides an expanded program for this pilot. So the goal is really help them to learn how to relax and to be aware more about their body. And that's really the primary goal. And the cultural divide, really the cultural is very big piece here. So for instance, when we're talking about dinacharya for yoga, then I will relate it to, the Chinese acupuncture. And for the Yoga Sutra, then I will relate to Buddhism and Taoism. And the Yoga Sutra, we cannot really translate word by word. You really have to translate the intent. And sure, later on we'll talk about Yoga Sutra, how to translate it to Chinese. So we're looking forward for her presentation. And for asana, I will say about Tai Chi movement. So prana, we'll talk about Qi. So after those programs, they all enjoy the relax a lot, then don't have that program. So you can see some lost 15 pounds, and then 2 were seeking medical care. YC is one of the individual program come to me to see the individual, and she is fit this program very well. And her main complaint is her incontinence. So this is really part of her daily life. So her goal is really feeling the more flexible and ability to focus and feeling the sense of the peace. But later on, we find out she really just needs to learn how to relax. So the methods is similar to the Guru Yoga program, but is more one-on-one casual talking. So initial assessment, she is more really dry and look like lack of sleep and have really unpleasant smell because her incontinent. And after the program over, she even forgot she has incontinent. And the most important part is now she's really interested about her health, and now she's going to see the medical doctor. And she sleep more. Now she like when she sleep more, she just naturally feeling the pain was much ease. So the group and the individual yoga therapy program, the most important part is really the relationship. So when I introduce about the Western medical doctor to refer, now they feel no longer reject. So I envision my program for the future is to serve the Southern California community and serve the manner of the IAYT, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And I'd like to share this year, I am one of the 4 award for the second place for SEVA award for the sitar. So I'm happy to announce that. And I even realized my program will be go to global and in Chinese community. Oh, I want to go back a little bit for the IAYT award. They are promoting for the community was underserved. So I'm really happy. Actually, someone recognized for the program. So it's coming back to yesterday. Diana shared one of the Jackie's quote for our program. The goal for this program is to remove the suffering and then transform to the community. Thank you, Dr. Lori, Dr. Zori, Dr. Jabo. You inspire me for this program and for teaching. I really appreciate that. Yoga Sutra say when there is a bondage, cultivate the opposite. I find yoga and taking out my suffering of depressed and depressions. And I helping people and made me more appreciate my life. So Master Zhen Yin say, the true blessing is not only knowing blessing, precious blessing, it's create more blessing. So I'm happy yoga empowered me to to become a better life. I'd like to share this gift to as much people as possible. 谢谢，感恩阿巴达 ，Thank you.